Hey y'all, happy Monday. This week's devotional is going to be about helping a friend who might be headed in the wrong direction. This was actually a suggested video, so thank you for your suggestion. Whenever I first saw this request to make this video, I was very excited because I just feel like this is something that so many of us truly can struggle with. It's also one of those questions that can be really hard to answer because there are just so many different circumstances. Because there are so many different ways you could approach the questions, how do I help my friends realize that they are doing something wrong? Or what is a way that I could approach my friend in this situation? I asked some of my closest friends for help. So shout out to all of the friends that helped me with this video. You guys are great. So anyway, let's get started. Approaching a friend who has went down the wrong path can be a very hard thing to do. You don't want them to think that what they are doing is okay, but you also don't want to be too harsh when you're correcting them. The best thing you can do to prepare yourself to talk to this friend is by praying for them and for yourself. Ask God to give you courage to talk to this friend, and also ask God to open this friend's eyes so that they will be able to see what they are doing. Proverbs 27 verse 17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." God gives us friends to help us be able to sharpen each other into who we need to be for God. And so if you see that your friend is going down a wrong path, you should help them to be able to see what they are doing wrong so that way they can get back on the right track. This does not mean that you are allowed to condemn them to hell. This means that you should explain to them what they are doing wrong, and explain also that if they give their sin and struggles to Jesus, that Jesus will help them get back on the right track. Telling this friend about your own testimony can really help them too, explaining that we all sin but can find forgiveness in Jesus Christ. Romans 5:8 says, "But God demonstrates His own love toward us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." Giving your life and your sin to Jesus will help you be able to want to live a better life and do the right thing. No, you will never stop sinning because no one is perfect, but Jesus is where grace and forgiveness are found. Explaining those things to your friend can not only help them realize what they are doing wrong and how they are sinning, but it can help them realize that Jesus is still there with them despite their mistakes. Another thing to remember that is important is Proverbs 17:17. "A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity." Just because this friend has made a mistake does not mean that you should stop loving them. Helping them grow closer to God and helping them through these times of struggle can honestly create a really unbreakable bond. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verses 9 through 12 says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion, but woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. Again, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one be warm alone? Though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken." When your friends are struggling, you should try to help lift them up. Keep them accountable. I know that telling someone that they are wrong can be a very hard thing to do. I've had to do it before, and it was not fun, nor was it easy. But if telling someone that they're wrong can lead them closer to God and get them off of this wrong path, it's definitely worth the awkward conversation. Keep in mind that sometimes whenever you talk to a friend and try to help them and get them on the right path and help them grow closer to God, sometimes they don't want the advice. Sometimes they don't want the help. And whenever this happens, you just have to continue to pray for them and love them and shine a light to them. One of my friends told me this example, and it's truly something that I compare a lot of things to. And you can see faith or correcting someone as a seed. And sometimes when you plant this seed in someone, try to tell them what's right, you can give it to them, but they don't want you to water it. They don't want it to grow. And sometimes in life, you just have to give it to God and trust that eventually someone else will water the seed. Maybe it is not your calling to water that seed. Maybe God has someone else planned to come into their life and help them. But that doesn't mean that you just completely give up on them. You should continue to pray for them. Sometimes people will push you away whenever you try to help them. So just continue to pray for them. Talk to God about it. Give this relationship to God and just trust in Him that He will help this person through this time. This is definitely a very hard subject, and it's honestly one of the most challenging videos that I've made so far. So thank you for giving me this question and helping me have to dig deeper into my faith and just see kind of what God would want us to do through this. And of course there are so many different circumstances, like I've said before, different things that the person might be doing, and I just definitely encourage you to, whatever it might be, to talk to God about it, because He knows what that person needs. He knows what you need to be able to help this person. So definitely talk to God about it before you do anything, and just see what He lays on your heart to be able to help this person. There are times where you're going to have a more stern approach and say, look, this is not right. And there are other times where you're going to have to be more gentle about it. Maybe it's the first time that you're telling them that, hey, this is not okay. But definitely just make sure that everything that you're doing is something that God would want you to do. So just pray about it, and just pray for the person as well. Pray for this person's heart and for their eyes to see what they are doing. I just thank you guys so much for watching this video. Continue to leave suggestions in the comments, and I will see you guys next Monday.